at that moment in that kind of situation, that guy is pretty much done out of it, you know, whether he's knocked out or can't move. So that's when we really got to work overtime and really keep that animal engaged and get him towards the out gate. Like I've done 1,000 times and wedged in there to take the blow for him, and my leg was just right there. It was, you know, if I'd been an inch one way or the other, it'd probably be a different story. I kind of knew what happened, but I went ahead and looked down, and what I felt and thought was true.
I'm Jeff Metters. Welcome to Bullseye. Dusty Tuckness is fearless. In fact, if you look up Bullfighter on Wikipedia, you'll probably see his picture. We started a Bullseye with Dusty back in January of 2020, but then the pandemic hit and we sat on it for a while. And so much has happened since then, including a near career-ending injury in round 9 of the 2021 National Finals Rodeo. So we thought, hey, we'll hit the reset button. We'll do it all over again. All right, I'm thumbing through the classifieds. I come across a help wanted ad, and it's for a bullfighter. Give me the job description of a bullfighter.
The job description for a bullfighter is fairly simple. It's cowboy protection, you know, putting your life on the line, that for another well-being, and see how long you can do it for.
I'm just curious who answers that ad. How did you get on the bullfighter road?
Yeah, I grew up into the rodeo world. My dad fought bulls and my mom was involved in rodeo, and it was just something I was always around at a young age, and I was drawn to it at a young age and pursued it. Haven't looked back since.
How long did it take for you to get comfortable in the arena with the bulls, where you're supposed to be, getting between the bull and the cowboy, where you felt like, I kind of got this thing down?
I don't know. I haven't found that yet. I feel like every day I can learn something, but when I first started, honestly, you know, I was around it so much and grew up into it that I never had any fear, no nerves, no nothing. Nothing really pulled me away from it. And it was when I was about 15, I got in pretty good wreck and really opened my eyes what this job can and could do. And so from there, I really had a big hurdle to climb, hurdle to get through, and to pursue it for a career if that's what I wanted to do. And I'd probably say, you know, in my later high school years, early college years, it really started kind of slowing down for me a little bit, and really started to seeing the action take place in front of me instead of just like somebody fast forward in a TV show.
What's the reaction from the bull riders? Are you overwhelmed with Christmas cards at Christmas? How do they say thanks?
Not necessarily Christmas cards or anything, but there's a respect there. You build friendships and lifelong friendships with these guys, and you know, part of it is, you know, you see each other every weekend, and you are putting each other's lives in each other's hands in a sense. And so yeah, you know, we joke and jack around with it a little bit, but yeah, there's times when they really do come up and like, man, you really did save my bacon, and you know, I'm appreciative of it. And again, you know, it doesn't matter if it's Sage Kimsey or, you know, a first-year rookie, you know, I'm going to do the same thing. But over years, when you do build them bonds and friendships, you know, it does mean a little, you know, more, and maybe hit a little deeper to home, you know, for some of them guys, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, I just want to be consistent and take care of everybody as if they are a world champion.
A few years ago, J.W. Harris really got in a bad spot. When you know the guy's injured, and obviously he'd taken a pretty good shot, what's the sense of urgency that you have there, and just in trying to get the bull's attention and get him out of the way?
Yeah, when a guy takes a shot and is laid out in the arena, or you know, we know he's injured pretty good, you know, that's when it really revs up for us, where we're going to put ourselves even more in vulnerable positions to really get that bull out of there. Because at that moment in that kind of situation, that guy is pretty much done out of it, you know, whether he's knocked out or can't move. So that's when we really got to work overtime and really keep that animal engaged and get him towards the out gate. You don't want to lay on the bull rider or cover him up, because you're just drawing more attention to that cowboy. So we do everything that we can to basically get over that bull's head and cover his eyes up and really direct him out of the arena, so not only the bull rider can be in better hands, but then the Just Sports Medicine program can get in there and take care of the guy and get him out in good shape.
When we come back, we'll give you a Dusty eye view of bullfighting. You might need a helmet. Enter at your own risk.
About time, boys, about time.
Bullseye with Jeff Metters is presented by Cinch. Lead, don't follow.
Too much glare on my head. A little mop and glow.
You enjoy the fan aspect of it?
Yeah, I do. I think it's all part of it. I mean, growing up as a kid and, you know, traveling with Dad, I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys I look up to are rodeoing still to this day or still being a part of it. But, you know, a lot of people gave me a handout and let me experience the life. So I think it's part of it, giving back and sharing kind of what it's done in my life.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how accessible you guys are.
It just kind of, I think, builds a fan of the sport too. You know, people can come up and shake hands with ones they look up to or somebody that will inspire them to pursue or chase their dreams.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Y'all be careful.
Yes, sir. Thank you. About time, boys. About time. About to get Cole. Come on, Cole.
Here we go.
Go on, go on.
He's gonna make it, and we're gonna bring it back again on that third replay. Watch it again. He took that 23. That's right.
Elbow! 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 Hey! Hey! Yeah. Whoa, that was close to my face. Oh, good work down low, boys. I seen that hoof right here. Good job on the low. This. I was just gonna take it. Dang it, D.
Appreciate it, boys.
Oh, banging me blessed. Yeah. Elbow! God dang it! Man, that pisses me off.
Well, what I don't think a lot of people realize until you go out there and stand in the arena, it's wide open spaces, you know, and there's not a lot of places. There's no place to safety up or get away. And once you get out there, they're fast, and if you don't have the skills to, you know, to put a move on them and get clear, there's no way you're going to outrun them to the fence.
Yeah, these animals, they're animal athletes. You know, they got 4 legs, we got 2, so we got to outmaneuver them. And like I said, I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing that we got to fight and overcome is your mind, because your mind's going to tell you to run straight and run as fast as you can, and you can't outrun them. And I think that's where good bullfighters are separated from great, is when they can utilize it, whether they're in a 3-acre arena or just a little box pen. You know, they're not looking to the fence. They're working with the area that's given to them, and you know, you got to trust in your instincts, you know, and believe in yourself when you step out in that arena, because, you know, when you get hired out, people are believing in you enough to hire you. So I feel that's, you know, it's on you now if you don't go and perform. So I take a lot of pride in it. These guys here take a lot of pride in it, and it's a fun game we get to play, and I'm blessed.
My mind's not saying run when I'm out there. It's saying, why are you here? Still to come, a misstep. Dusty suffers a serious injury at the 21 NFR. It had the rodeo world holding its breath.
Like I've done 1,000 times and wedged in there to take the blow for him, and my leg was just right there. It was, you know, if I'd been an inch one way or the other, it'd probably be a different story.
Welcome back to Bullseye. There are very few times when the Thomas and Mack Center falls dead silent during the National Finals Rodeo. But it happened in the bull riding, round number 9 in 2021. Dusty Tuckness stepped in to save a bull rider, and he stepped right into harm's way. And it put Dusty in a situation where he's never been before, on a serious injury list. Let's go back to round 9 of the NFR last year. What happened?
Yeah, round 9 in the 2021 NFR, things were going great. I was working with Cody Webster, Nathan Harp, and man, just it was a great week. You know, we were rolling and going, and the chemistry was great. And Braden Richardson, it was his first NFR, and he kind of got beat up in earlier rounds, and we knew that, you know, going into the last handful of rounds, that he's a kid that won't quit. He's going to show up to try to win and grit it out, and he did awesome. He ended up winning that round, you know, kind of normal routine bullfighting. You know, he whistle blew, and you know, he didn't really get pitched out of there. He kind of got slammed right underneath that bull, and I can't come in off third man and just, like I've done 1,000 times, and wedged in there to take the blow for him. And when he did, that bull really swung around to hook me, and what he did was really reach out with his front feet, and going back to, you know, what hurts you the most is the feet. And you know, my leg was just right there. It was, you know, if I'd been an inch one way or the other, it'd probably be a different story. And at that moment, you know, obviously I heard it, felt it, and hit the ground. And I wasn't concerned about the bull at all, especially with Nathan Harp and Cody Webster. And I kind of knew what happened, but I went ahead and looked down, and what I felt and thought was true. You know, he stepped on the side of my leg and had a displaced fracture of my tib and fib, and my leg was kind of laid over on its side, and the pain was definitely real. There was a lot of pain, but I think the thing that hurt me the most was the emotional, heartfelt pain of, you know, knowing that when the sports adjustment, sports medicine team comes in, I'm not going to be able to say, yeah, I'm good, let me shake it off. And I just remember getting packed out and looking around saying, this isn't how I want to end this. And I was accepting with what's happened, but I was ready to get to work, and just kept believing and knew God could do something good through this. And that's kind of how I went about every day. I believed that night before surgery that I was going to be able to walk out and fight bulls the 10th round, and that's just the mindset that I wanted to have and wanted to keep through it all.
Surgery the next day. Surgery's over with, and you got rehab and a lot of things, you know, still ahead of you. What, any kind of depression, any kind of doubt, or was you just kind of single-minded?
You know, I wasn't going to let something like this, you know, try to consume me or overtake my mind or start questioning things. You know, with the sport of rodeo, and there was a lot of sleepless nights them first couple of weeks, and aches and pains, but I knew that was going to happen. You know, that's just part of it. And
what kind of timeline did they give you?
Man, I heard a bunch of different timelines kind of from the start, but the one that I think was the one that I heard the most was anywhere from 6 to 12 months. And
that's a big gap.
That's a big gap, but I just told myself that's not going to be my timeline, not even the 6-month mark. And I just knew whatever I could put into it is really going to predict when I can come back and how I can come back.
Rodeo cowboys and bullfighters, obviously, it's notorious for, you know, what the doctors say. That's just a rough guideline. Mm-hmm. What was the actual timeline? When did you step into the arena and feel like, yeah, I'm 100%?
From the second surgery to when I worked my first rodeo was just under 5 months. And I wouldn't say I was 100%, but I knew the bone was solid. My knee and my strength in my leg was sound enough where I could not so much just get in, but the biggest issue for me was being able to get out. Because I didn't think, you know, I'd shy away from the sword from stepping in, but, you know, when them bulls really drop their butt in and come at you, you got to be able to maneuver enough to keep yourself from getting more hurt. You know, not so much hurting that leg, but other parts of the body. So I went up to Cody for the night rodeo at the start of the summer and worked a few performances and got around and had some aches and pains, but it was then when I was like, you know, I know it'll be a different summer, but I know we can get through this now. And my first pro rodeo back was Reno. I knew going into Reno it was going to be a big test because it's 10 performances and the first day is an extreme bulls. So we were going to be in a lot of bulls. I knew I had a good partner with me, Cody Webster, and so I knew he'd take care of anything crazy, but I still wanted to go in there and basically in the mindset of, pick up where I left off and continue to get better and stronger. And it was, the emotions were high from the introduction. You got Bobby T and Wayne Brooks on the mic, and Bobby T can sure make a guy tear up or feel like he's 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And we stepped out there, and it was just, I remember just getting a hold of them first few bulls, and I was just like, man, Lord, have I missed this, So it was good. It was a great week. It was a great place, I felt, to come back. And there was a lot of bulls to come back to, just to really give me that peace of mind going into the rest of summer and the fall that, yeah, we're back and we're ready to roll.
Up next, we'll talk bucket list in terms of travel and get Dusty's thoughts on American bullfighting and its Spanish counterpart.
Their art and their moves are with their cape. And you've got to have a little manhood to you, if you know what I mean, to be able to stand there and let them charge you and hope they take the cape.
Bullseye with Jeff Metters is presented by Cinch. Lead, don't follow. And brought to you by Cavenders. This is how we live. And Hui, the Western Action Sports brand. Do you have anything that's more meaningful than this that you own?
Man, yeah, there's a lot of good jerseys and stuff that I've kept a hold of or was given, but this one's got a lot of value to it. This was the last jersey I wore last year at the finals in the 9th round when I got hurt, and I had some different ideas what I wanted to do with this jersey, but what I ended up coming up with was I was going to hang it up in my gym and take it with me this summer when I rodeoed, just to remember, regardless of my circumstances or wherever I'm at, that to put my best foot forward, because my end goal was not to let this be the last jersey that I wore at the Thomas and Mack, and it's just a constant reminder every day to work hard.
Might have to frame that one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna frame this one up or something like that. It'll always bring up a story about it. So there's a pretty rocky road from here to the next one we're gonna get put on, but we're excited and grateful to be able to go back.
Time for a Cavenders Q&A. Some of them are one-word answers.
Okay.
Some of them are more than that. But you're going to work the NFR. Would you rather have Miles Hare or Rob Smets?
Is that one of them?
That's one of them.
Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna make one of them mad.
Or tell me the pros and cons of, or the pros of working with either one of them.
And if I could work the NFR with either Miles Hare or Rob Smets, I don't think there's a wrong answer, but I would probably have to say I'd go Rob. He was one of my first, idols, you could say, and just what he accomplished in the freestyle world as well as the protection side. But there's a lot of Miles Hare and Rob Smets, so I mean it'd be a sense having them both in there. But I'd take Rob.
Navy SEAL or Top Gun, if you could be the one.
Ooh. Man, I'd almost have to say Top Gun after the new movie that came out. That was a pretty great movie.
Yeah. So both kind of have the thrill side of it.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with Top Gun too, even though I'm not supposed to answer my own question. Boxing or UFC?
UFC. There's a little more ground and pound there, and a little more street.
You might have been pretty good at that.
I don't know if I'd be very good at it, but I know I can take a beating and stand back up.
Yeah. One country or one place that you'd love to visit before you die?
Man, I think going to Spain would be pretty cool. Go running with the bulls. Kind of see the art and tradition of, the bullfighting world over there would be something pretty cool to be a part of.
Which really leads me into my next question: bullfighters only, or a traditional Spanish bullfight?
There's good things about both. I'd have to say, at my point in my career now, probably go see some of the traditional bullfighting. The sport of bullfighting and bullfighters only has given me so much, and but I've partaken in that a lot. And I haven't really been a part of the traditional bullfighting, so it'd be cool to go see it and learn and hear their thoughts of the sport and the industry.
You have to kind of respect those guys and the skills that they have.
Yeah, you got to. You know, the big difference between them is, you know, in American freestyle, you know, it's a game of tag, and we're moving a lot more to where they're basically standing their ground, and their art and their moves are with their cape, and you've got to have a little manhood to you, if you know what I mean, to be able to stand there and let them charge you and hope they take the cape.
You could only do one more. You had one rodeo left in your life you could do. What rodeo would it be?
I'd probably have to say Cheyenne. You know, I'm from the state of Wyoming. There's just so much history at the daddy of them all, and such great storylines, and there's just something about that arena that's pretty historic, and it's one that I'm just excited to work every year.
Fantastic.
That's gonna make some rodeos mad.
So we got Miles Harris mad at you, and
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Every other
Looks
rodeo.
like I'm working Cheyenne next year. That's it.
Dusty Tuckness is the comeback story of the year in rodeo. He suffered that serious injury back in round 9 of last year's National Finals rodeo. He fought through the surgery, did the rehab. He was back fighting bulls by midsummer, and recently he was selected to work his 14th National Finals rodeo. Dusty Tuckness is simply legendary. I'm Jeff Metters. Thanks for watching Bullseye.